Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. And on today's video, I will be talking about the second Royal Caribbean group ship I have been on, and that's coming up right after this. Thank you for coming back to Traveling with Justin. I am Justin, and today we're going to talk about Brilliance of the Seas. It's the second ship I've been on the Royal Caribbean group. Last one is Mariner of the Seas in the Voyager class, classes of ships in the Royal Caribbean group. And today we're going to talk about Brilliance of the Seas, and that is part of the Radiance class aboard among Royal Caribbean. Well, I'm just going to give you a little bit of back thing about the Mariner. So it was built in 2003, and it has a gross tonnage of 139,863 gross tons. Now, the Brilliance of the Seas, their at tonnage is 90,090 gross tons. So they went down a ton of tonnage. Yeah, went down from 139 down to 90. All right, so the Radiance class is a little bit smaller class of a ship. It's a little bit smaller ship. It does not have an ice ring on it. Let's give you a little bit more facts about the Brilliance. Okay, so it's got two GE gas powered turbines. It's got some diesel powered Aussie pods, which makes the ship go side to side. And the capacity is 2,140 people. Now, last time I said Mariner of the Seas could only do like 1,600. That's 1,600 cabins. That's what I meant to say. And it has a crew of 848. So, what does the Brilliance of the Seas have to offer? Okay, so they do not have an ice rink. They do have something called the Park Cafe, which is up on deck where the buffet is. No, not where the buffet is. Yeah, up where the buffet is. And they do have this small area, but it's only open at certain parts of the day. And you could get free sandwich, you get free food, sandwiches, desserts, cookies. But they ran out of cookies one day. That was not good. And then they have this other spot down on deck 6, I do believe, where you could get coffee and stuff that was at a price, but they did also have desserts and some cookies there. They do have a dining room that takes over 2 decks in the aft of the ship, and we always had our dinner down on the bottom half of the deck. The food was really super good. The buffet, I'll get to the buffet here in a minute, but let's talk about a little bit about where we boarded from. So we boarded from San Pedro, and that was dead. It was completely dead. I mean, it took us a while to get through the line to security check-in, but we got to the ship and stuff like that. That was great. But the ship itself was, kind of small. I was like, yeah, I can get used to this, a smaller ship. But they did have some downsides. Yeah, the Brilliance of the Seas. So they only had 13 decks on it. Yep, 13 decks. And they had cabins from like 2, 3, 4, all the way up to, I do not believe they had any on the Lido deck. That was just like the pools and stuff like that. But they did have cabins everywhere else, except for deck 7, where they had the whole entire thing full of casino, the theater, the movie theater. We'll talk about that in a minute. And then some clubs and stuff in the back. Brilliance of the Seas, they did not have an ice ring. It's just too big. It's just too small of a ship to do that. But they did have a movie theater. It's up there on deck 6 and towards the front by the theater, where you can actually go in, go down and watch a movie like an actual movie theater. There was Sleepless in Seattle was playing when I stuck my head in there just to see what it was all about. If you wanted to, you could sit in there and watch a movie. And it was kind of a cool thing to do. They had a nice theater, and they had some good quality entertainment there. My wife didn't really enjoy it. I enjoyed it, but we have different opinions on different things. So that's what makes marriage so good, right? But yeah, the Brilliance of the Seas, they had this this park cafe, and we were coming back from Victoria, and we were hungry, and a lot of people were hungry because they're like, I can just go on the ship and eat. No, you could not, because the only place was open was Park Cafe. They ran out of cookies. The line was huge because the buffet was closed until 5, I think it was 5:30. It was closed until 5:30, and then it opened up. But yeah, so so far that's the only ship I've been on that the buffet has been closed. And you couldn't even get ice cream because ice cream was in the buffet in the back, so they shut it off and you couldn't get ice cream for 2.5 hours. I know, it's a travesty. Right? So I digress, okay? So the Brilliance of the Seas, it was a really nice ship. It was really super old. So the Brilliance of the Seas was built in 2002, a year earlier than the Mariner of the Seas. But you can tell it is showing her age a little bit. With the lack of eating options between the hours of 3 and 5:30, it was non-existent. If you wanted to stand on long lines, that was fine, you know, but if you're coming back from a port day and you're hungry and because you didn't want to spend money in the port for dinner or food because you can go, I can go back on the ship and eat. Why would you spend money? We did. We went to, it was a nice little fast food joint up there on Beacon Hill in Victoria. It was really super good food. Glad we did because when we got back to the ship, there was nothing to eat. But Brilliance of the Seas, it is a nice ship. When we got on her in Los Angeles, the ship was coming from Tampa, Florida, and then went through the Panama Canal, stopped in LA, and then it continued up to Vancouver, where it did Alaskan cruises from Vancouver until just recently. I'm not sure where it went after that. I think it was headed to Asia. But yeah, it was a good little ship. I mean, it was just my wife wanted to get away because she's had a stressful first 3 months of the year. So we booked this cruise. We got the balcony cabin, and it was really super nice. You can tell that it's been out. It's dated a little bit in the decor and things like that. But you know, they're trying to do it. But yeah, it's a 2002 ship. However, if you're going to go on the Brilliance of the Seas, you just have to remember that the buffet closes at 3 o'clock and reopens at 5:30. Yeah, it closes in the morning time. You know, like I think it was like 11. I can't remember when it closed for breakfast until lunch. Maybe it never did. Maybe just half of it was breakfast and half of it was lunch. I cannot remember. But all I remember is I couldn't eat there between the hours of 3 and 5:30. No ice cream either. But just remember that. But it is a nice little ship. If you like the smallness and the smaller ships, this is a good one for you. I like Brilliance of the Seas. Go out to Royal Caribbean's website and look to see where she's selling at if you would like to go on her. But if you do, remember the buffet is small. I actually have a video I'll put right here. You want to go check that out, you can. And so, yeah, that's Brilliance of the Seas. That's the last ship I have been on. So that was number 9 of the cruises I have been on. And it was fun. I've gone on a variety of ships. And so, yeah, the smaller ships, like the Inspiration of the Carnival one right here, I kind of ranked up about that size of a ship. It was really super nice. All right, so that is it for Brilliance of the Seas. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you found it valuable, give it a thumbs up. I would appreciate it. And until the next one, I will see you later. Bye. Remember, cruising is fun, not boring.